I'm holding a live, free preview session on January 26th at 6 p.m. Pacific. Here's why this matters. For almost 40 years, I've made my living having conversations that count. Presidents, activists, artists, people who've changed the world. And I've learned something in the process. Most folk have no idea how to ask a real question, how to listen, how to create a moment. Whether you're building a business, leading a team, hosting a podcast, or just want to connect better, this changes how you show up. It's free, it's live, and I might have a surprise guest joining us. Here's what you do. Go to tavistalks.com. That's tavistalks.com. Scan the QR code, click the registration link, and you're in. It's January 26th, 6 p.m. Pacific. I'm keeping this intimate. Don't miss it. I'll see you in class.
21, oh, life has just begun. Got a temper like a gun, pointing it at everyone. That's his game, and it helps him to get through the day. But a voice inside him says, how much longer can I play? He's got infinite possibilities, I can see them now. It's the unbroken chains of his past by which he's bound.
It's time to set our intentions, set our self-care, and find our focus. This is Mindful Mondays with Saharah Ali on KBLA Talk 1580.
It is indeed. It is time to get ourselves together, pull ourselves, gather ourselves for the week ahead. And we're blessed to have a meditation instructor, a yoga teacher, life coach, a numerologist, astrologer, and she's also a sound healer, a sound bath specialist, and so much more. Saharah Ali, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning, KBLA family. Welcome to Mindful Monday, where we get our minds right for the week by setting positive intentions to honor our mind and body through meditation, prayer, and affirmation as we step unapologetically into our week, being on purpose with faith, truth, power, and wisdom. We have celestial magic in the air this week as we experience a cosmic reset as Neptune enters Aries for the first time since 1861 through 1875. This transit highlights an era that defined the civil rights, early cinema, advanced technology, and the pursuit of freedom and self-discovery. The upcoming Aries-Neptune transit from 2026 to 2039 is expected to reflect the similar themes, emphasizing personal conviction, significant changes, and the restructuring of outdated systems no longer serving the collective consciousness of humanity. The next 13 years, the world and our lives will be augmented, aiding us to reframe who we're willing to be, taking ownership of who we're willing to become. Reality is being rewritten to reset all things, creating inner and outer changes. The call to action is to be a map maker, a maker for the future, embracing higher consciousness through oneness of self. Aries rule courage, action, initiation, and self, and oneness with the Most High at the highest level. Neptune represents spirituality, faith, dreams, and collective consciousness. Together, the celestial influence yields fostering selfhood, transforming vague spiritual impulses into concrete action, pioneering new pathways. The celestial foundation being set echoes the transformative struggle of 1860, with modern technology and social context asking us as individuals to challenge archaic systems around autonomy and justice and fostering global awakening, building true collective consciousness, manifesting new beginnings graced by infinite possibilities. So now is the time to become the best you, to step into the beauty and gift of your authentic self, aligning with the light of wholeness, planting seeds for a grand harvest, celebrating a new future. So here and now, quiet yourself and mindfully open yourself to fulfillment. Mindfully open yourself to planting new seeds of change, connecting to the value of freedom that already exists within you. So as we go forward with our Mindful Monday meditation, mindfully bring your awareness right here, right now. Just breathe, centering yourself, grounding yourself. Take a breath and exhale, being on purpose in this moment, opening your heart and giving yourself permission to be right here, right now, one with your breath. Give yourself permission to relax and to breathe in the power of the Most High. And as you exhale, call on your angels and ancestors to aid with surrendering all aspects of your life, opening towards a new beginning. Be right here, right now, quieting the mind, quieting the body, calling in your soul's true purpose, allowing yourself to receive divine guidance. Give yourself permission to honor self-love. Breathe, relax, and release. Release whoever and whatever is blocking fulfillment, whatever is impeding change and rebirth. Just breathe and feel centered and grounded right here, right now. Give yourself to be committed to doing and being the best you. Breathe, relax, and making space to be the change in your own life. Willing to embrace a new perspective. Willing to integrate wholeness. Relax and listen. Listen to your mind, listen to your body, listen to your spirit, and trust as the celestial influences are opening gates of wisdom within us and showing us the way through the world behind our eyes. Allow yourself to be open. Allow yourself to trust. Allow yourself to step in faith. Allow yourself to be right here, right now, centered, grounded, and focused, and breathing, connecting to the wisdom within. Allow yourself to be mindfully connected to the direction of which you would like to bring fulfillment in your life. Feel that throughout your body and make a promise to carry that clarity with you. Now take the biggest breath you've had all morning. And as you exhale, listen to the voice within. Listen to the truth of your soul. And allow yourself to relax, connect, and receive. Open yourself to receive our Mindful Monday affirmation of the week as you feel grounded and centered. So take a breath and then exhale and be right here, right now. And our mindful affirmation for the week, here and now, I pick up my power, opening myself to fulfillment, trusting God's will to be done with grace and ease. Here and now, I pick up my power, opening myself to fulfillment, trusting God's will to be done with grace and ease. Relax. Relax into the joy of your breath, bringing awareness. Relax as you bring your awareness back to present time, giving yourself permission to pick up your power. So anchored and grounded, connected and centered, and take a breath. And know starting today, your life is always divinely guided, and to give yourself permission to pick up your power. Slowly bring your awareness back, center yourself, ground yourself. Maybe bring your hands on your lap, feel anchored and grounded as you bring your awareness back. Take a breath, connecting to the wholeness within you, and give yourself permission to pick up your power and open yourself to fulfillment, trusting God's will to be done with grace and ease. Thank you, Dominique, Tavis Smiley, Miles, and the 1580 KBLA family. Have an unapologetic, mindfully blessed week, picking up your power, opening yourself to fulfillment, trusting God's will to be done with grace and ease.
Saharah, when you talk about meditation breathing, like you were just leading us through this guided meditation, which I know it slows down the mind and body. Do you recommend people breathe through their nose, their mouth, both?
There's various forms of breathing, but both. Like you inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth, and that opens up the heart, it opens up the throat, it relaxes the mouth, the jawline, and then, you do a couple like breathing in the nose, exhaling through the mouth, and then just breathing through the nose, and this is the whole respiratory dynamic where you open your heart center and you connect. So breathing through the nose and through the mouth allows the jawline to relax, and they say if the tongue and the mouth is relaxed, the whole body is relaxed. So sometimes it's just a preference of what allows your body to surrender to the relaxation, to open your mind to be receptive to the gift of the meditation.
I know most of us walk around and we underestimate just how much the way we breathe, our mindfulness of the breathing, and the speed with which we're moving the oxygen in and out of our body, dictates how we're going to feel, how we're going to think, how well we're going to be able to move. So I just want to bring our attention back to that. And the sound bath is coming up this weekend. Yay!
Yes, it is. Yes, it is on Saturday, 6 to 7:30 at Yoga House.
It's really, I say 5:45 to 7:30 only because if you get there at 6, you won't get in. You have to get there before 6. So it's at Yoga House in Pasadena, and it is what time? 7.
It's on State and Fair Oak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the street. Or you can Google Yoga House. Everything pops up.
All right. Well, and of course, if you want a reading or something like that, you've got to contact Elise, who is Saharah's assistant, and she can help you set something up. You call her at 213-628-9783, 213-628-9783. Saharah Ali, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dominique and the KBLA family. Have a blessed week.
Yes, indeed. Looking forward to a conversation with the spokesperson for the family of Kieth Porter Jr. His own cousin, Jsane Tyler, joins us next on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Hey, KBLA delegation, you know what's better than laughing? Laughing while celebrating the legends who made us laugh in the first place. KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to present our annual Black History Month luncheon. And this year, we're honoring comedy greats, trailblazers who broke barriers, and funny bones at the same time.
You had to grow up early when we was growing up because your parents were sent to the store to buy. You was too young to buy. I want you to go to the store, get me a fifth of gin and a pack of cigarettes. Mama, I'm 2. They ain't gonna let me have that. Here, take this note. You be a little boy walking down the street with liquor and cigarettes. And your neighbors be going, that's a good little boy right there.
We need a little levity right about now. So we're rolling out the red carpet for comedy royalty. D.L. Hughley, Melanie Camacho, Earthquake, Lunel, Dion Cole, Martin Lawrence, and a surprise guest appearance. It's going up Thursday, February 26th in downtown LA at the Grammy Museum. An unforgettable afternoon of stories, celebration, and yes, plenty of laughs, because let's be real, these legends don't just tell jokes. They have changed the game, opened doors, and made history while making us smile.
You gotta go to child support court. You gotta get there real early in the morning. You see brothers going into court. You see them come out 3 hours later. I can't pay this. Let me talk to you, baby. Please, let me talk to the witness, Sjane. Let me talk to the witness. Brother be working for 3 weeks, get his check is $43.
This year, for the first time ever, we have set aside a limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon. They are going to go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. So, if you want a single ticket, or if your company or organization wants to sponsor a table, move swiftly and get to KBLA1580.com right now. All these comedy giants in one room, on one stage, at the same time? Stop it! This event is going to sell out quicker than right now, and sooner than at once. KBLA Talk 1580's annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. It's gonna be legendary, just like them.
What's up? What's up?
What's up? You got to laugh the pain away.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is what where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
Oh, my. That is, that's my fault. We have a little mix up here, and it is entirely my responsibility. But we're gonna take the grace that's being offered right now by Miss Jsane Tyler, who is an organizer in her own right, working with Students Deserve, which is an incredible organization in LA, advocating for the rights of our young students. And then she's also an activist with Black Lives Matter Los Angeles. And I'm talking about the woman who is also the cousin of Kieth Porter Jr. and has been fighting tirelessly for some kind of justice for the killing of her cousin since that tragedy took place on New Year's Eve. Jsane Tyler, my apologies for the mix-up, and thank you for joining us this morning.
No worries. Good morning, Queen. Grand Rising.
Grand Rising to you. I know you have been just going around the clock trying to get the word out and also to push the demands of the family in regards to your cousin. But I'm still so amazed how few people even know about Kieth Porter Jr., considering the terrible circumstances and all of the attention that is on ICE right now.
Yes, this is crazy. So Mayor Bass finally released a full statement where she talks about him over the weekend, but yet she's still not calling for an investigation. She still has not asked LAPD homicide what's going on or pushing for the DA, to press any charges. Local officials other than Ulysses on city council and Isaac Bryan, those are the only two people locally that have lifted this up. And you have everybody out here, and rightfully so, in the streets for Renee Good and Alex Petty. But Kieth Porter was ours. He wasn't just my cousin. He was ours. He's from right here. We're from Compton, California. I've been in the streets since before, really since Trayvon Martin is when we all really started taking to the streets out here, since, it had been a long time. It had been since Rodney King, and I'm just really trying to understand how one of ours can be snatched. And you have every politician, every local official, every big personality out here that has been calling out the injustice of what happened to Renee Good and now it's Alex Petty, but they're not saying Kieth Porter's name. And Kieth Porter lost his life on New Year's Eve, 2 days before Renee Good. And there's others that have been murdered in between there. 2 other people lost their lives 2 days after Renee Good and all of the other atrocities that we've been seeing. But yes, as a family, we are fighting for justice for my cousin. It's only through community and through personal reporting that we even know the name of this officer, that we even now know that he's exactly who I said he was, that, it's almost like they fit a stereotype. And then when we find out who he is, we found out through a court filing that he is a child abuser, he is a racist, he is a homophobe. He's just not a good human being, and now he's a murderer. So that was already in his heart, and because we're dealing with ICE and this Trump administration, we do also now know that technically there were no cameras, but there was a witness who is fearful for her family. And so we can't even get the statement that we need for the DA to press charges. That man looked me in my face and said he won't press charges unless LA Homicide hands him an investigation on a platter. And we don't even know that they're trying to unturn any facts or uncover what really happened that night. Everything that we found out, any forensic evidence, sounds of gunshots, bullet shell casings, is not because they've given us information. It's because the attorney and family have canvassed that apartment complex, have talked to, witnesses who heard and what was going on that night. And as it stands, I keep saying I believed his first story to begin with, and his first story reigns true. So this narrative that DHS has put out after the third concocted story, which as a union rep, I know that that's a story that was put together after he spoke to his union rep. It's crazy that they're, calling my cousin an active shooter and this was domestic terrorism and he's a hero. No, it wasn't. This man came out of his apartment building, hunted my cousin down, who was not even in the act of the celebratory shots anymore when he came outside, and pretty much took my cousin's life into his own hands, and then went back into his home and then called 911, created this narrative, went back into his home and slept like a baby, and police procedure policy was not even followed. When an off-duty officer, let me just take a step back and say that ICE is not law enforcement. ICE is Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Right.
Even for an off-duty officer, there's a procedure that is supposed to follow if there's a shooting or especially a killing. This man was never told to surrender his service weapon. He was never given a sobriety test. I said from the beginning, we don't know what kind of drugs he was on. He could have been on crack, heroin, meth, completely loaded off of his alcohol of choice. We don't know what state of mind this man was in because they didn't do due diligence. He was never taken into the station for a real interrogation of what happened on the scene. And he went back into his apartment and slept like a baby that night. My cousin laid there dead in the rain while a tactical force came out and kept asking for him to either surrender or shelter in place, which is oxymoronic to begin with. And they left my cousin's body out there in the rain, uncovered, for so long that 153-pound man, we just buried him at 220.
Wow.
So I'm sorry, that was just a lot to come all out at once. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. This is usually why I don't talk this early, because I always have a morning flood. And right now, the only thing that's on my heart is justice for Kieth Porter.
No apology necessary. You make it really clear. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, condolences to your family, your loved ones, and you. It's a big burden for your family to bear. The two daughters of your cousin, one is in college and the other one is still in elementary school, right?
Yes, and as the daughter that lost my father at about 6 years old, I can tell you that this is never going to go away. This is a pain that, they're going to feel forever. First of all, it's Fransola's only son. It's her only child. And that was her best friend. And then for these babies, even with Naya being in college, my heart just still continues to bleed for them. Because, again, that's a loss you never recover from. So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, it's terrible. And the Naya, you said her name is the young girl, college student, his daughter, made such a powerful video asking, people to help your family find justice, which will not bring him back, we know, but will at least give some tiny measure of justice. And we'll talk about, what the demands are and how people can help when we continue after news, traffic, and sports. We have a minute here, though, and I know you guys, you just funeralized him, right?
Yes, on Friday.
Yeah. Well, I saw his mama, as you said, her only child, speaking before the city council, and your whole family. You're just so... You guys are just so powerful. Everyone, the way they speak about him, we almost feel like we knew him.
Yeah, Kieth was just amazing. It's telling because he had only been in that complex for 11 months, and everyone knew him. They all had great things to say about him. The way they exchanged pleasantries and the way that he helped his neighbors, if they needed the elders, when they were going in with groceries, things like that. And this other person, they had no knowledge of. The only thing that they knew, the only thing that anyone knew was that he had charges filed against him, and they saw children being removed, and they knew that there had been charges or allegations of abuse. Most people didn't even know that because this man was just like a ghost or a phantom in that complex, but they all had great things to say about Kieth.
We'll continue this conversation with Jsane Tyler when we come forward after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
I'm Misty Jordan with BIN News Now. The head of border enforcement says the man shot by federal agents in Minneapolis was obstructing law enforcement. Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino made the comments on CNN's State of the Union.
Let's don't freeze frame adjudicate this now. He was there for a reason, and that reason was to impede law enforcement.
Bovino added the victims of the incident are the Border Patrol agents. The man shot has been identified as 37-year-old Alex Preddy, a U.S. citizen. National Guard units in 12 states have been activated to work with local and state agencies as they respond to this weekend's powerful storm. Hard-hit states are using the National Guard to help clear roads, assist stranded motorists, and provide logistical support. And Super Bowl 60 is set. The Patriots will battle the Seahawks February 8th. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The road to the Super Bowl for the Rams ended in Seattle. A shaky performance by the Rams defense was a major factor in the Rams' 31-27 loss in the NFC Championship game. The Rams gave up 346 yards passing and 3 touchdown passes to Seattle quarterback Sam Darnold. Darnold also helped Seattle make 7 of 13 third-down conversions. The Rams defense couldn't get off the field when they needed to. It was also a shaky day for Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford. Stafford was 0 for 7 on 3rd and 4th down passes. attempts. The Clippers keep winning. They beat Brooklyn 126-89 at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. Brooklyn's 89 points is the fewest allowed by the Clippers this season. 28 points for Kawhi Leonard. The Clippers are now just 3 games below 500. They are 15-3 since December 20th. The Lakers are at Chicago tonight, 4th game of an 8-game road trip. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with the world. African Focus Incorporated is a community-based organization whose mission is to bring Africans and African Americans together, lead charitable initiatives on the motherland, and educate people from all walks of life on the beauty, legacy, and opportunity of Africa's 54 nations. And it's that time once again when African Focus is teaming up with KBLA Talk 1580 for our 8th annual African Focus Trailblazers Tour. Travel with us in 2026 when we're headed to the southern African nations of Zambia and Botswana for a historical, cultural, and vacation tour led by me, Dominique DePrima, Cultural Ambassador for African Focus Incorporated. Enjoy luxurious accommodations, conscious fellow travelers, shopping, adventures, cultural tours, wildlife safaris, and a giant waterfall, one of the world's 7 wonders, along with a chance to be of service at an orphanage on the continent. Become an AFI trailblazer by exploring the motherland with a nonprofit organization that has members in Africa and America to help roll out the red carpet for you, and together we'll make a difference and have fun doing it. For more information, visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
We're talking with Jsane Tyler. She's the cousin of Kieth Porter Jr., who was murdered on New Year's Eve, allegedly, by an off-duty ICE agent here in Los Angeles, in Northridge. And the family has been calling for an investigation, apart from the one that supposedly Robbery and Homicide Division is investigating this murder. But as Ms. Tyler just shared with us, the DA is saying he is not pursuing charges unless he gets pretty much a case laid out on a silver platter for him by the LAPD. And you mentioned I've seen Assemblymember Isaac Bryan posting on social media. I've seen Eunice Hernandez, but you said so far, other than that, the governor, the mayor, Congress people have not stepped up in the way that the family is hoping that they would, or was hoping that they would.
Yeah, not at all. When you have Ayanna Pressley all the way on the other side of the country, uplifting Kieth Porter first, before Renee Good, and before Alex Petty, and it's almost crickets here in LA and in California. You know, I don't hurt easy, but that's hurtful. It is.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I've asked our KBLA delegation to do when they're doom scrolling, anybody that mentions, Alex Preddy or Renee Good, just say, and please remember Kieth Porter Jr. Like, that's one of the small things I've been doing, because even some of our progressive outlets just are missing this case. And of course, for you, it's not a case, it's your family member. Talk a little bit about Kieth Porter Jr. I was at the first candlelight vigil, and I was surprised at how many of his co-workers, Latinos from the Home Depot, were there and seemed to be completely distraught.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I have been so raw. I think all the work, Mondays are my self-care days, so I do apologize. My body and my mind were already programmed that today was the day that I could finally let go. But yes, that's a testament to who he was. Like I said, Dominique, they beat us to the vigil when we got there early to, set up and kind of make sure everything was okay. They had already made pictures. They had already started putting them up on the tree. They already had candles out. And when I walked up, they were just so gracious. And they said, that was the least that they could do. They said that he meant so much to them and the joy that he brought them even at work, that they wanted to make it easier for us. And so they had set up ahead of time. And that's something that he would have done, And yes, for it to be, a lot of Hispanic people, we're from out here. We were raised to see no color lines. I read and write Spanish now. I laugh. My parents, I'm also an LAUSD employee as well. And so a lot of times my parents laugh. They tell other parents that don't speak English, oh, she can understand you, though. She can speak it. She just doesn't want to. And I'm like, no, it's not that. Like, I used to speak Spanish when I was a kid. But, a lot of people, know I'm not shy about my story. I've had 2 brain tumors, a lot of time in between, and so I read and write Spanish, but I don't speak it. And there was a young woman out there, and she didn't really speak English very well. But when I tell you that we understood each other perfectly because of all of the beautiful things that she was saying about Kieth. And it's just amazing that he could have that influence on people in such a short period of time. He had only been in Northridge for a year. He'd only worked at that Home Depot for 1 year. He'd only been in that apartment complex for 11 months. Yet the majority of those people that were out there were Hispanic, because we weren't raised to see color lines. He only saw people. He only saw their hearts. He always wanted to make life a little better for whoever was around him, regardless of color. He was the life in the room that always brightened it back up. You couldn't be around him feeling down and not within minutes feel like the world just became lighter. That was the effect he had on people since he was a little kid.
And his mom spoke so powerfully before the LA City Council. I'm not going to lie, I was sitting there crying listening to it. And I just can't believe that more folks haven't made statements after she did an amazing job of laying out the facts, just as you have, and, calling on them, but also really pleading with them to do the right thing in the most humble way possible. I just don't see how you could not be moved by that and do something.
I don't know where the humanity is right now. I honestly don't, because I know that little by little, the way that I have been in the work and in the fight for others the way I have been is because I don't know how to see others experience this kind of pain and just sit on my hands. So I don't know how people that have a platform, that are in position of power, that have influence, can just sit by and say nothing. And so that's what makes it hurtful for me, because I know that I have a great village. I know that God has allowed me to do a lot of things in the community. So for the people that I've touched to be able to, have these branches that have, reached out, even to you, Dominique, for these branches to at least extend the way that they have, and DL, who was raised in our, DL usually was raised on 135th in Avalon. I was raised on 136th in Parmalee. This is home.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed
Outside
the DL
of
has
that,
been
I don't
speaking
see
up.
anyone else.
Yeah, he has been speaking up on it. But it reminds me, and I think, I hope we'll get there. It reminds me of Trayvon Martin, because at first no one was talking about it, and it was the Black community, from the Dream Defenders to people like yourself, Jsane, that wouldn't let the media get away with silence.
Exactly. So I'm hoping that we get some type of traction, that, and I do see some, there has been a little bit of momentum thanks to people like you. And I did see, I wasn't supposed to go on my socials yesterday, but I did. And I did see exactly what you just asked for. So I just want to tell you thank you, because there were posts about Alex Petty and Renee Good. And I saw in the comments where a couple of people said almost those exact words. And don't forget about Kieth Porter Jr., who was murdered by ICE on New Year's Eve. I saw that a few times last night. And so I was like, oh, okay, thank you to those people. I commented, thank you to those people, and then I hopped back off because I didn't want to go down the rabbit hole again.
Yeah.
So that did make me feel better. But now it's time for people that have larger platforms to catch, to start making this catch fire. I would love to see a march for Kieth. I would love to see us walk out for Kieth. I tell people all the time, I'm a street soldier. If I can't do anything else, if you can't do anything else, you can march. You can come stand outside. You can hold up a sign.
It was beautiful to see the folks marching in the Kingdom Day parade. Black Lives Matter LA, and you were there, and I was there marching for Kieth, and a lot of people, our people,
yes,
were happy to see that. You saw the people in the crowd, some of the people along the route holding signs.
That was my union, and I love them so much. I'm like,
of course you organized that. That's
no, I did not. So that's the thing. Okay. I'm a union. So I am on the bargaining team for SEIU Local 99. I'm also on labor management for my unit, and I'm also a steward for my school. And they had just found out that was my cousin 2 days before. And I received a call, and I was, it was supposed to be them clearing whether our president could say anything to me. And I'm like, yeah, have him call me. Yeah, don't do anything until, we talk about what it is you want to do. And then I still make sure that that's okay with the attorney.
Mm-hmm.
That phone call, unfortunately, was never placed to me. But our executive director and some of my other union members, once they found out that it was my cousin, they took it upon themselves to make those signs. And when we got to that part of the route and I saw them, and they were just waving at me and covering their hearts and holding up the signs. Dominique, I don't know if you realized I was crying through that whole parade. If I wasn't talking on that megaphone, I was crying behind the big old sign I was holding up.
I did kind of catch that. It made my heart hurt. I notice you haven't said the killer's name. I know Black Lives Matter, Grassroots, and BLM LA, and even some other news outlets have said it. I've said it a number of times. Are we not supposed to be saying it?
No. So I just wasn't in that space yet. But
I gotcha.
Make no mistake, before I got off of here today, yes, and I know we're coming to the end. So if you see Brian Palacios on the street in Northridge, North Hills, Sherwood Forest, Winnetka, Woodland Hills, Panorama City, Encino, Pacoima. I used to live in the valley, so I know all the places you could be out there. I'm a matador. I went to CISA. So if you see this man on the street, shame him and tell him to turn himself in. He's a murderer. We do have a petition that we're going to the police commission with tomorrow, but still keep signing the petition to have this murderer, Brian Palacios, arrested and convicted for murdering my cousin. The petition link is tinyurl.com/sign FOR Keith. tinyurl.com sign for Keith. And yes, blast him everywhere. They were trying to keep this quiet. The reason we have his name is because the father of the children that he abused named him in his custody papers. And so to you, sir, you've also reached out to the family and said that you would help in any kind of way. Thank you. Thank you for giving us his name. We would not know that it was him if it was not in those court papers. The reason this man was refiling to have the custody and visitation order amended is quote unquote because the mother is in the home with a man that killed a man on New Year's Eve, and he does not believe that she's in the right mental state to really care for the children. If he would not have stated that in his court filing, they would still be able to hide this murderer's name.
There is that, speaking of tinyurl.com, sign for Keith. There's also been some confusion, as usual, competing GoFundMes for the children. The right one is tinyurl.com, donate for Keith. Is that right?
Yes. Please do not donate to that other GoFundMe. That is a person who I'm going to, really choose my words. As a matter of fact, I'm going to refrain from saying too much. Do not donate to that other GoFundMe. That is not for his daughters. The family is not collecting any monies for burial or anything like that. We're not trying to recoup anything on the back end. Keith was taken care of. The official family GoFundMe, you're looking in the language. If you want to be sure, read the language. It is for his daughters and their education.
Yeah. Kiep, maybe I'm saying it wrong, 98 says in our YouTube chat that they marched for Kieth Porter in San Francisco. I didn't see that. He said it was on TikTok, but just the consistency here.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, we'll have to look for that. tinyurl.com/sign for Keith, tinyurl.com donate for Keith. There's a consistent pattern. Sign for Keith, donate for Keith. The other GoFundMes are not the correct one. We're going to continue our conversation with Miss Jsane Tyler, the speaking for the family of Kieth Porter Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
When the Eaton fire tore through our community, the loss was immediate, but the impact didn't end when the flames went out.
Between today and the fires, we moved 16 times.
I haven't been able to sleep, and I don't know when.
Ashes and Echoes presents an immersive oral history exhibit created to preserve the voices of residents, business owners, and community members who lived through the fire.
I heard evacuate. I said, okay, it's time for me to go.
I think about it every day. Every little thing reminds me about the fire.
These stories are preserved for generations, not as headlines, but as lived truth.
I'm going to miss a community that kind of saw people for who they are.
I'm so grateful to my mother for raising us there because she wanted to raise us in that type of environment.
Join us January 31st through February 3rd at the Pasadena Convention Center. Admission is free and open to the public. Come listen, come remember, come heal. Visit ashesandechoes.org for more info.
LA Fire Justice is proud to sponsor Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
And getting some questions in the chat. Kieth Porter Jr. was murdered on New Year's Eve in Northridge, California, allegedly by an off-duty ICE officer named Brian Palacios, who was unmasked, revealed because of his own domestic violence and child abuse charges in court. He lived in the same building with Kieth Porter Jr. Kieth Porter Jr. was the dad to 2 daughters. He was his mama's only child. And what I've learned just from being at the protest tribute on MLK Day and one of the vigils is that he was very well loved by his neighbors, his family, his co-workers. I mean, you just don't expect to see co-workers who've known you for 1 year literally crying and breaking down. Clearly, this man had a powerful, positive energy and aura that people really, really loved and clung to. And the family has some very specific demands. Jsane Tyler, his cousin, if you're just joining us, has been speaking with us. And I hope you'll speak with us again. I'm sorry I dipped into your self-care day. But my mic is your mic, and my mic is your family's mic, so you are welcome back anytime. But let's hit these demands because I think it's important for people to know how we can help.
Thank you, and I appreciate you, Dominique. So our demands are for the DA to arrest this criminal, for him to press charges and prosecute the murderer of Kieth Porter Jr., and for press and everyone else to stop the character assassination of him in the media. So we need the DA to press charges, we need a conviction, and we need the character assassination to stop. He was not a suspect. He was not a criminal. And yes, I do know that some people feel a certain type of way about celebratory shots for New Year's Eve. Out here in California, it's New Year's Eve. is Dodgers championships, is Lakers championships, the 4th of July, or like I've said before, any Tuesday night randomly. And this is a behavior that we learned from our colonizers anyway, and I'm going to keep saying that. We didn't bring that tradition over here. We learned that from you. Even the unlawful discharge of a firearm is not a cause for death. This is California. There's a penalty. There was no imminent danger. There was no imminent threat. He wasn't even shooting in the air when the man came out his house. He was in the act of getting ready to return to his apartment. So this was murder. And again, later developments, we do know someone that was there that is just fearful for their family. But we do know now that the reason my cousin was found steps from his apartment, balcony, back door, is because, in fact, he was on his way back into his home, and this murderer came back through his apartment complex and hunted him down and killed my cousin dead. So we need the public's help to spread the word. Sign the petition so that we can have this murderer arrested and convicted.
To me, the fact that he went back into his house, changed into technical gear, came out, and then killed him, to me, that's premeditated murder.
It is, and that's why I'm not saying, initially I was like, at the very least, before we had the facts, initially I was like, at the very least, this is still manslaughter. Even without any discovery, at the very least, that was manslaughter. But now knowing that you went back into your home, put on your tactical gear, got your service pistol, and went back outside and found him and killed him, that's premeditated murder. Even if you thought that he was a threat, he wasn't an imminent threat because you went back into your home, and law requires even for an off-duty officer to call 911. You called 911 after you shot him dead.
So terrible, Jsane. I'm really sorry for you and your family, and I'm not playing around when I say my mic is your mic. I want to stay on top of this story every step of the way, and I know that our KBLA delegation does as well. I can hear it in the chat. Everyone, please go to tinyurl.com, sign for Kieth, tinyurl.com, donate for Kieth, and let's create the unstoppable momentum that forces the mainstream media to acknowledge this case and puts pressure on officials. Jsane Tyler, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Dominique. I appreciate you.
God bless. We will have news, traffic, and sports and more on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Misty Jordan with BIN News Now. The head of border enforcement says the man shot by federal agents in Minneapolis was obstructing law enforcement. Border Patrol Commander Greg Bobino made the comments on CNN's State of the Union.
Let's don't freeze frame adjudicate this now. He was there for a reason, and that reason was to impede law enforcement.
Bobino added the victims of the incident are the Border Patrol agents. The man shot has been identified